Wagwan ya Bomba Klutz. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. That's right. We're doing it on Friday, October the 3rd, 2025. Thank you for joining me once again. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me from the get-go, thank you very much for all the love and support. Here we are, another beautiful sunny day on the streets of Toronto. Let's get a sip of this bad boy. Lots of fun to be had. Lots of topics to be discussed. And we'll see where it goes. It's good to be alive and kicking, I'll say that. First and foremost, let's get right into it. What have we been talking about? No particular agenda, no particular direction. First of all, let's just take this in. It's God, what a beautiful day. Nonetheless, things are evolving, things are moving fast. It's a fast-paced society, fast-paced times. Are we in the future? Are we in the present? Are we replicating parts of the past? Who knows? Things are changing quickly. New jobs are needed to be made in response to all the AI and the evolving animals out there. That's right. And we'll get to all of that. But before we get to all of that, what are some of the new jobs that are taking place out there? Who's coming up with new jobs? I heard about this one. This one's a beautiful one. If you're worried about, I wonder what I'm going to be doing in a new world. In the new world order, what am I going to be doing? What's going to be my job? You're going to have to get creative. That's what you're going to have to step out of the box. You're going to have to think for yourself. You're going to have to deduce. You're going to have to decipher. Deducing and deciphering. And a beautiful job that you might come up with, like some people have done, for $1,500 right now, you could become a baby name consultant. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, for $1,500 or $1,000. Somebody will sit down with you, look at your stupid baby, and help you come up with a brand new name. This is very difficult for parents to look at their own baby and come up with a new name. Are you tired of giving birth and then having to sit down and look at your baby and then give it a new name? God, that's exhausting. 9 months of pregnancy. For the males, extremely tiring. 9 months of having to listen to your wife. Yeah, look at your wife, get bloated, get fat. She's a little fatty now. And you have the heart to tell her she's getting fat, but she is. 9 months of that. Get me a pecan pie. Get me watermelon. Give me some ice, crushed. Give me some ice, cubic ice. Give me some hot ice. Give me some, dry ice. Give me some no moisture ice. Give me ice from the Arctic. Give me ice from the neighbor's fridge. All of it. 9 months. And then what? Oh, the beautiful, somebody is honking. Nice. You're a squirrel. You get distracted easily by noises and sounds and visual impacts and effects. Nonetheless, what day is it? It's time for that water to break. You're in the middle of a museum visit. Your wife's water breaks. She slips. You catch her. Amidst the catch, you fall. You knock over an expensive vase from the 3,500 BC from around the world, and it's expensive. And look at you. $100,000 for that vase. Congratulations. The baby's not even born yet, and it's costing you money. Next thing you know, you got to get to the delivery room. Are you going to drive yourself? Are you going to call an ambulance? Who knows? You get your wife there. Next thing you know, she's on a little hospital bed. Legs up. Oh. Now you got to breathe. Now, do you give her the epidural? Do you give her the meds to ease the pain? She's going to snort a little hash, sniff a little 2C to ease the pain, or is she going to just raw dog it? She raw dogs it because she's that type of woman. Her vagina rips. Her puss all over the place. Her puss is on the ground. Catch her puss before it runs away. The puss is traumatized. Now you gotta reattach your wife's puss to her body. Traumatized. Stitch it back up. Rewire it. Tape it over. Make it a little bit tighter, doc. Just a little bit tighter. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. She keeps saying go deeper, so I'm just saying make it tighter so we don't have time to thrust so hard and so deep anymore as we age and a new baby on the way. Make it super tight. Make it the size of my pee hole. Excellent. Now what? Now you gotta sit down and name that baby. Oh, with the nerve of this baby. To come and ask for a new name. What do you even call it? Jimmy? Tony? Sandra? Barbara? These are old school names, or traditional names, good names, solid names. But what do you want to name your baby? That's difficult. Do you go the traditional route? Do you pick something out? Do you pick a biblical name? Do you pick like a John, or a David, or a Silas? How about that one? I like that name. Silas is a good name. So many names, but that's the thing. Your relationship can't handle it anymore. You're falling apart. Oh, what's that I see on the horizon? Potential divorce because of the inability to come up with a brand new name for your baby. The pressure. That's why they're now baby name consultants. A complete stranger will show up and look at your ugly baby and say it's cute. They'll lie to you. They'll be the first. You're paying them $1,500. They'll look at your ugly baby and they'll say it's the cutest baby I've ever seen. What a cute baby, they'll say. This one looks like and they'll come up with a new name. That's right. Donkey hooves, horse face. That's the original name. Don't just leave the original names for celebrities. Grapes. Call your baby a grape. $1,500. Your baby looks like grapes. Prune head. 15. That'll be $1,500 prune head. No neck baby. That's your baby's name. No neck. $2,000 for coming up with that name. No neck. You gotta get innovative. You gotta do that. So $1,500, $2,000. This is just the beginning, of course. If you really want to, these are the early stages. In the future, in the near future, with the inflation, in 10 years, you want to book yourself a baby name consult today. Because if you don't, in like 10 years when you are pregnant, she'll probably cost you like 10 grand or 20K to come up with a name. What about one of those names that's unisex? Because you don't know. You want to prepare. Do you want to stand your ground firmly on traditional beliefs and values, or do you want to go with the where's the future heading? Unisex babies, digital babies. What about digits? How about a number for your baby? 787777765. Hey, 65 for short. That's the nickname. 65. That'll be $3,500. So there you have it. That's a new job. If you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Times are changing. Things are evolving. I'm out of my depth here. How do I come up with it? Hire a total stranger. Hand your baby over to a stranger to look at them. They know more about your baby who's been in your tum-tum for 9 months than you. You've been cramping. You've been pulsating. You've been contracting. You've been Lamassing. You don't have time to come up with a new name. All right? Hand that task over to a professional. $1,500. It's a steal. You're blind. You can't see what's in front of you. It's a good-ass product. All right? So go for it. Take your ugly baby or your beautiful, pretty, cute baby to a name consultant near you today. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me, of course. What a great day to be alive. What's happening in and around the world? A beautiful incident occurred in Taiwan on a Taiwanese train with beautiful Taiwanese people. What happened? A young passenger, a relatively young passenger, kicked an elderly passenger right in the tum-tum, right in the gut. She said, "Bitch, sit down." And she kicked her right in the tummy. Why did it happen? I have no idea. I think the video that I saw depicts an elderly lady coming over to a younger lady on the train, on the Taiwanese train, and asking for her seat because she's old and she can't stand. So out of courtesy, she would expect the young lady to get up and hand over her seat. But the young lady said, try me. Or she said something along those lines. I'm actually not quite sure what conspired between the two, but the elderly lady proceeded to hit the young woman with her bag. I believe there seems to be a truck moving towards us. It's got sirens on it. It's red. It said Toronto Fire on it. That's right. The large red truck on the side of it said Toronto Fire. These guys dispense fire all around Toronto. They are a little bit attention seeking, yes. All about them, all the time. Gotta make a ton of noise. Gotta be seen, gotta be heard. But that's neither here or there. Ignore them. Don't pay any attention. The more you pay attention to them, the rowdier they'll get. They'll double down and make their sirens louder. They'll walk around, all flashy and make it all about them. But that's neither here or there. What was I even talking about? That's right. A Taiwanese woman got kicked in the gut for asking for a younger woman's seat on the train. Now, I don't know what they said to each other, but the young woman did give a good kick to the old lady. The lady fell back on the other side of the train, across the train on the other side. Because I don't know what happened and I don't know what they said, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, if you're preparing to kick somebody anywhere really in the body, this isn't about the old lady. This video is about kicking. This portion of the video is about kicking. You thought it'd be about the old lady. I'm not here to discriminate about the young and the old. We're here to concentrate on the matter at hand, which is the kicking factor. If you're about to kick somebody and you don't want to hurt yourself, make sure you take a few steps back. Take a few steps back. Give yourself plenty of space. Lower your center of gravity. We will find out who's behind these trucks. One day we will find out who is running this Ponzi scheme called the Toronto Fire. That's right, if you want to stay safe and get a good kick, you want to lower your center of gravity, give yourself a few steps. Put your back into it. Find out which one of your feet is the dominant one and which one is the sub. At nighttime, it's easy to find out which one of your legs gets on top of the other and does missionary. Is your right leg climbing on top of your left leg? Is your left leg the bottom leg? Does your left leg and foot, do they like to be bound or tied or cuffed? Does your left foot want a ball gag and on the bottom of its surface? Find out, or is it the reverse? Find out, because they say that you got to find out which of your feet is dominant, which is the sub. You want to lean on the sub, kick with the dominant. So make sure you know that, or if you want more power, then you lean on the dom and then kick with the sub. It's better to practice with both legs. I'd say that. Find out if you get good with both legs, you can kick literally anybody with, and that I say take some time each day. Do 50 kicks on the sub leg, 50 kicks on the dom leg. Make sure that over time you build a equilibrium so you can kick evenly with both feet. If you want to be safe during kicking, I should mention this. They say pick on somebody your own size. That's terrible advice. Terrible advice. You want to pick on somebody who's either smaller, older, which in this case it was an elderly lady who got kicked, weaker, essentially weaker. I don't know where we got this whole saying of pick on somebody your own size or on the same level as yourself. You want to get the W's. You want to win in this. Life is about the W. So you don't want to go with somebody your own size, because they might be practicing twice as much as you. Hell, they might be on steroids. They might be stacking. They might be roided. They might be on adrenochrome. You don't know. They might be sniffing glue for all you know. You want to go with somebody, pick somebody who is smaller, older, younger, babies. If you want to, you know what I mean? If we're talking about practical solutions to the best kicks possible, go with somebody again that's weaker than you. Don't ever go with somebody. You go with somebody your own size or somebody even bigger. You're like, oh, what about the times they say if you were to get into a scuffle or a prison situation, pick the largest guy and, like, you know, sock him in the face. That's idiots. Poor advice. Pick the weakest link. You're like, oh, I've seen the movies. They'll respect you if you go with somebody your own size or bigger. This is life. I'm talking W's. Go with somebody weaker. All right, that's where the money's at. Be smart about it. Floyd Mayweather, strategic fight picking. All right, not saying he's one of the greatest, probably one of the greatest, probably the greatest, right? But again, strategic. Don't go out there and be like, I'm gonna pick somebody. I'm 25. I'm gonna pick a 25-year-old to kick. You don't know what they've been up to. This other 25-year-old might be climbing trees in the Amazon and fighting monkeys on her spare time. You don't know that. You don't know that. Don't put yourself at risk. Again, this portion of the video is simply about kicking safely. You're like, what about the elderly women? What about? We're not here to talk about that. I don't know what was said between the two of them. She did strike the young lady with her purse first, so could it be? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying we're talking about the kicking here. All right. So having said that, stay safe. Find somebody again you can dominate. Ensure you get that W. What else is going on in and around this beautiful world of ours? I believe we've had a major event in the beautiful United States of Americas. Here in the 51st state, I like to say that I heard about this and I didn't know what to make of it. I think I've heard of another one in the past few years. We're having a government shutdown, baby. We're having a motherfucking government shutdown. Will it open? Will it remain closed? How many days will it go for? Who knows? Who knows? Not the first. Not in the history of government shutdowns, we've had plenty. So it's not the first time this has happened. So you, as a citizen, you can relax. You can relax. Your day will. Some of you will be impacted more directly than others. What's causing the shutdown? Alleged government spending, a spending bill, and the two parties have to work together to sort out the spending bill and find out how much they want to budget for the 2026 fiscal year. I think that's, I'm not even sure, to be honest. I think that's what it is. I'm not even sure. It could be about, what are we doing on potluck lunch? I don't know. What are we doing on, casual Thursdays? What happened on that day? It could be about that. Could be about that. Or it could be about the bill. Or it could be about this one guy named Bill. It could be about Bill. Could be about Bill Gates. Could be about Bill Clinton. Could be about Bill, but it could also be about William. And I don't know. And it's about spending. They say that. Whose fault is it anyway? Whose fault is it? And again, I don't know. I don't think it's that either. The left will say it's the left's fault, and the right will say it's the right's fault. No way. The right will say it's the left. That's right. The right will say it's the left's fault, and the left will say it's the right's fault. And who's to, and it's two arms attached to the same body. So it's like trying to figure out which arm did you jerk off with last night when you were under the influence. Which arm was it? And at the end of the day, it's your arm. It's attached to your body. So it's one of your arms, or both of your arms. Maybe you stroke with the left for like 10, 15 minutes, then paper cut, because you never know. And then you have to switch hands. And then which hand did you start with? Which hand did you fit? And the hand that you started with, does that one count? Because you finished with the other hand. So whose hand was it that jerked you? It's not even your hand. Was it some homeless guy that crawled in your bed? It's his hand. Where is he now? Good luck trying to find him. Or it's about spending. So there you have it. Will it impact you? Most people, not directly. But, down the line, yes. I believe government shutdowns cost money. But then it's good to shut things down everywhere. It's good to take a little siesta. Government's all day, every day. It's good to shut it down for a few seconds. A couple of days. A few weeks. A month or two. 3 months. 4 months. 5 months. Shut it down. 6 months. Let's just Some people will be still working. Most people will still be working. You're going off furlough, which means you're not getting paid. You'll get paid retroactively. So there you go. It's good. You're going to have to tighten up the belt if you're a government worker. And as this thing proceeds, for longer and longer, some people may start to call in sick because they're like, I'm not working with no pay and lower levels of like staff members and crew members. That's tough. So, or I don't know. That's whose fault. Some people say, I heard the right said that the left wants to give taxpayers money to fund healthcare for illegal aliens, and the left said it's not about that. It's just about healthcare. So I don't know. Should illegals get healthcare? I don't know about that one either. Option A, illegal. Yes to healthcare. They arrive illegally, right there on your doorstep. They collapse and prolapse on your shoes. Do you want them to have healthcare? Well, it's going to cost you money, so I can see why you're not happy about that. Do not give them healthcare. Now they're roaming on the streets, collapsed and prolapsed for weeks on end. Months go by, years go by, the prolapse and the collapsing keeps getting worse. Their dick falls off. Loose dick on the sidewalk. What do you do with it? So these are all the questions that we should be asking. And other stuff too, of course. Why can't we just spend more money? Let's just print more money. It's a bill. Let's just say, because I'm not sure if the closures typically cost money as they go. It doesn't not cost money to have a closure, but then sometimes you need closures because sometimes you close things down. You're like, man, some people were extra. Maybe some people need to be laid off. So there's pros of that, or there's cons of that, depending on maybe you might end up getting fired if you were necessary. If you need a new job, you can now become a baby name consultant. So there you have it. Solace in innovation and ingenuity. Go down your own path. Maybe it was meant for you to get fired. When a door closes, there's always backdoor entry. When a door shuts, you better have taken your keys with you or you might be locked out. When a door shuts and you forgot your key and you're locked out, try to find a window to get in from. No available windows. Do you live in a house? Do you live in a building? Do you live in a condo? Ask for assistance. When a door shuts and you've forgotten your keys, call a locksmith. There you have it. There you have it. What am I even talking about? I don't know. It's Friday. I know that. Beautiful people of Toronto coming and going, doing their thing, lively, excited to be a part of the show. Are they real people? Are they paid actors? Maybe they are. Maybe they're both real people and real paid actors. Oh, you think everything seems so natural out here just because they're paid actors. How much do I pay them? None of your goddamn business. Enough to keep them coming and going. Posting in the UK has been an issue that's been popping up. That's another beautiful issue that's caught my attention because back in the day, if you wanted to like thug out, if you wanted to be thug life, if you wanted to be like, gangsta about it, shit. You're gonna have to go and do yourself some dirt. That was back in the day. Some heavy shit, carrying a strap. Carrying a couple of strap-on dildos to be really bout it. slanging cack. You might have to, engage in criminal activities. You might have to become a criminal in order to do time. But that was back in the day. You might have to go steal something. You might have to find something to steal. Put in the work. On the ground. Boots on the ground. Come to toe activities. That's right. Come to toe. You've heard that term. Come to toe activities. Come to boot. Come to boot activity. That means when you're on the ground and you're gaining cum on your boots. Come on boot activities. They say that's a term. Come on, but so you're gonna have to rob a bank. You have to find associates, conspirators to work. Can they keep their mouths shut? No. You get locked up. Now you're put in jail. 17 years and maybe for life. No parole. And that was back in the day. But now you get to, the beauty of it is, again, things are evolving. Now you can just post a little something online and you get booked. So, you could be like, in a jail, in a UK jail with hardcore criminals from the past, from not too long, who've done, kidnappings, thefts, murderers, arsonists, all of it. Ugh. Cannibals. And you're in there. You gotta lay it down. What are you in for? Oh, I ate a guy. I ate half a guy. That's why I'm here. Everybody all of a sudden gets in your grill. You start eating a guy. That's why I'm here. The other person, I drowned my wife and kids. They'll say that. You're like, God damn. So this guy's drowned his wife and kids. What'd you do? You'll ask the other person. I cracked somebody over the head with a bottle in a bar. And they fell on top of another person who was weak and they died. That's why I'm here. They'll say that. And you'll have to, and they'll ask you, what's your story? And you'll say, I shit posted, and I'm out there. You guys don't know nothing about it. I said something. I spoke my mind, son. You don't know the life. I said something online. I posted. The man them be posting online, and the man them be getting in trouble. I don't know why my UK accent turned into a Jamaican, but nonetheless, it could be a Jamaican British individual. You don't know, man. You don't know what you don't know. But there you have it. Pros and cons. You could easily get booked and do jail time. That's the negative, depending on how you look at it. If you want street cred, the pro is that you don't need to do harsh crime. You just post. Like you could say, I'm not down with Hamas, and they'll come and get you. Or you'll say something along the line, hey, keep Islam over there, all the way over there. You can say that and they'll come and get you. It's just your opinion. You say that, but that's the thing, you got pros and cons. Tattoo yourself accordingly. Others might have, butterfly knives, grenades, AK-47s tatted on their body. You get a keyboard, you get a tattoo of a keyboard, just, a couple of keys, Q, X, and Y, just dripping from the side of your face. Oh, that boy posts. That boy posts some ghost. Oh shit. He's a posting ghoster. Don't mess with him, they'll say. But that's beautiful. That's it. You don't have to go and do. It's not as hard as it used to be. So that's again, innovation, allowing it as less things in your way. All right. You want to do crime? You want to be rolling with the big boys? Just get on there and just, type out a few sentences or two and roll the dice, baby. That's what it is. So the UK is doing well. It's good. That's beautiful. Same time, while we're on the UK, this one just warms my heart. It brings me joy. Makes me horny, to be honest with you. I'm quite horny right now because of it. Digital IDs, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We're getting collectively, not us right now, not in Canada at the moment, but should we be so lucky in the future? Because that's what it is. In the UK, now you get digital IDs to hold a job, to fight stuff like illegal immigrants. That's another one, because that's a huge issue. That's a big issue. How did it happen? I don't want to get into it again. We could focus on what's right or wrong. Is it about the elderly lady, or is it about the kicking? That portion of the video is about kicking. This portion of the video, you're like, what is it about? It's about how horny digital IDs make me, personally speaking. God, it gets me going. Gets me excited. I don't know about you. I know I'm wet. Fully wet right now. Fully hard. Why? Because it just makes it... Don't you want to... Let me ask you this. Do you like counting? I know everybody likes counting. You like knowing where things are, right? One of the major things that you learn in life is about counting and keeping track of things. It's about responsibility at the core of it. Knowing where you are and what you're doing. Ever since you crawled out of your mom's puss, they told you, instilled in you. You got to learn to be accountable. Know where you are, what you're doing, how you're doing, for how long you're doing it, what you're doing with who you're doing it with, when you're doing it. You gotta keep count. You gotta keep track. First, you get a little crib. How many toys do you got? You got 5 stuffed animals. Keep track of your stuffed animals. You get a little bigger. Toss a couple of those toys out. How many were on the floor? They start teaching you how to count. How many were on the floor? How many of them were in the crib? How many of them got destroyed by the dog? Keep track of things. You learn. You go to school. You start with the basics. First thing they teach you: count 1 to 10. Learn to count. Account for things. So we want to be organized. You gotta know things. You know things from putting a number on it. You grow up. You learn more numbers. You count for more. You count and count and count. All right. Eventually, we get here. Full-blown adults in the future. The years, it's 4,891. That's right, the future, or the present. 4981, 4891. There you go, 4891, that's the year. The year is 4891. We're living in the future now. You don't have to count anymore. You lucky son of a bitch. Thousands of people came before you. They had to count from the time they came out of the mom's vag. Oh, the amount of numbers they had to cram in their heads. But now, people of the future will have everything counted for them. They'll know exactly where everything is, how much of everything. And each person, each individual will be counted as a number too. Don't you like giving people numbers? They're like, oh, that chick's a 7. That dude's a 6.5. That dude's a 9. That lady's a 10. Don't you do that in your head? Well, guess what? Digital IDs and social credit scores will allow you to easily identify an individual's number. Thank God. Thank God. Because it was a guessing game before. It was a guessing game. You never knew what was a person's number, or rather, what is that number? Because what even is a person if not just a number? So there you have it. It's much easier to now look at a person and you'll see it. You'll see it above it, because again, it's the year 4891. We're living in 4891, baby. All right? A hologram will appear above a person's head. Every individual will have a hologram number above their head. The higher the number, the better the person. The lower the number, the bigger the scum. Oh, get away from me, you low-numbered son of a bitch. And wasn't that hard? Before, you had to roll the dice. You never know. Is this a prince? Or is it an AIDS monkey? Oh, roll the dice, spend the time. 6 months, 6 years down the line, you thought you had a prince, but it's an AIDS monkey. It took you 6 years to figure out you were dealing with an AIDS monkey. Now you can know exactly, right now, you can know if it's an AIDS monkey or a prince, or a princess, or AIDS monkey. And you can avoid them. Avoid that AIDS monkey. Or, better yet, maybe you were into AIDS monkeys. How long did it take you to sort through all the princes out there? Oh, just searching for I've got an acquired taste, all right? Searching for my prince. that is also an AIDS monkey. You'll say that to yourself, and you go through person to person, broken heart, shattered dreams, wishing, hoping that you come across your AIDS monkey prince. But no, just regular princes out there with big, big, beautiful numbers, which you'll have to figure out through time. Whereas now in the future, you see the number, you know exactly who to associate with. Gives you just gives you an overall number. And that sums a person up. You know exactly where they're at societally. Classically speaking, you know if they're like upper echelon or on the bottoms. You know who to make eye contact with. You know who to just, whiz on by. You know who to kick. You know who to let sit on your lap. You know who to open a door for. You know who to shut the door for. You know who to, get in the bathroom with. You know who to maybe let them go first or wait or rush in there before them. You know exactly who to mingle with now. Before it was a guessing game. People looking at each other pretending that they're just people like each other, but they're not. They're just numbers. And this technology makes it it's much easier. So you're welcome. Digital IDs. It got me super hard as soon as I heard about it. I think we're probably gonna get it soon in Canada as well. Globally speaking, I know that's what the people want. That's what the people want. People want the government officials to be conducting voyeurism. I myself have wished for nothing else other than government officials and government bodies to be just a bunch of voyeurists, just looking at people. How do you keep track of that's how you keep track with facial recognition, social scores, and digital IDs. And it will be spread around the world. It's a global technocracy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Less human interaction. Far superior. No more worrying about, I'm gonna have to explain myself to a human. You won't ever see another human again. Only when needed, only when necessary, for a limited amount of time. Short spurts, 5 to 10 minutes, say goodbye. Yeah, it's difficult to have government officials doing voyeurism without digital IDs, but now they can sit there and watch us. And if you're like in the government or you can watch people. You can watch people now and score them and know exactly who they know. Do you like name tags? Do you ever go to a party or like, yes, I wish there was a name tag at this. It's hard to keep track of everybody. Everybody's full-blown information will be available. First gateway is the number. Do you even want to get to know this person's name before? But look at the number first above their head. Okay? Do you shake their hand? Or do they got do they got some sort of new world? I don't know. Maybe they got the what's a new disease? I don't. Super AIDS, that's a good one. Hepatitis Z. Maybe they got hepatitis Z. There you go. And you wouldn't have known this before. It was just a guessing game. Now you know. The more you know. So you're welcome. I hope we're getting it soon. Again, rock hard. Impossible to leave the bed this morning. I couldn't because I was ecstatic. And I know each and every one of you out there is probably hard as me, if not harder. Maybe even wetter than I am. I'm not saying I'm the wettest or the hard. I'm just saying. You heard the good news. It's happening. It's beautiful. What else is going on in and around the world? Our military, again, I say our military as the 51st state, I say that. We just had a talk from Pete Hegseth. Came and gave a talk about the military, the new military, in the new world. So we're getting ready. Gone are the days of DEI. Put down the DEI and pick up the IED, all right? I didn't listen to the whole thing, to be honest with you. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a busy week. But I got the gist of it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just here to tell you what I heard, what I find interesting. And again, put down the DEI, pick up the IED, which means in the military, moving forward, gay shit, park it, put it aside. Enough of that. Enough of that. We need, get ready, all right? Get your boots, get your gear, get your guns, do some push-ups, do some chin-ups, lift, support each other, and let's get ready for the next war. Let's get ready for the next war. All right? Get your gear, get your boots, get your guns now. Get your boots, get your gear, get your guns now. Get on the team. We're the good guys, gonna go kill some bad guys. Bad guys, kill some bad guys. Those bad guys are there, and we're over here. We're the good guys. They're the bad guys. Join the good guys. Put on a shirt. Dun, 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 dun. Pop the gat in the terrorist eyes. Blow his head off right there. Blow his head off. If he's coming at you with a gun, shoot him fast. Is it a turban, a regular turban, or is it a bomb? Is it a bomb? That kid over there, is it a kid, or is it a hunchback terrorist? Shoot 'em first, shoot 'em fast, shoot 'em hard. Put down the DEI and pick up the IED. Wear a shirt, get your boots and grab a gun. There you go. Because they do it on the other side, we gotta do this. Every nation does it, so we got to concentrate on ours, all right, and get ready for the next war. Subjectively looking at things. No more tranny talk. No more, women dressing as men, men dressing. This is the army, all right? Task at hand is to take out terrorists, and we got to be hard and firm. There are legitimate situations unraveling before our eyes. You know? Gotta worry about because if you don't work out, the Chinese army's gonna be working out. And the Russian army's gonna be working out. So you wanna be working out. You wanna be, bout it. They sing similar songs just in Chinese and in Russian. Other people probably do it too. You gotta do this, what it is. Not saying this is the way I wanted to. I'd say globally, if you could sing a new song, like put down the gun, go for a run. And then translate that, or a version of that in Chinese and in Russian and in other languages, but they don't. So we can't either. We gotta be bigger, stronger. Again, going back to, don't want to pick on somebody your own. So we gotta be stronger. We got to be stronger. Okay? Can't be focusing on your tranny operation when we're getting ready for the next good war. And it's solid war jobs. You gotta come up with either, come up with a new business for yourself, like coming up with baby names, or join the army. What else is going on? I believe this got me excited. This got me super excited because I do support the men's and women's who do, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Things are, of course, they've gotten way better overall. Way better. It's a beautiful day. Hopefully one day we'll get past this stage in humanity, but in due time. little tiny baby steps. But in the meantime, because we do have bad guys and good guys, in case you're like, man, what about like thousands of little tiny drones? You know, they do it for the night shows or the sky shows right now, and it's beautiful. You'll see like, oh, it's a display of 1,000 drones up in the air depicting a moving image of a dragon. Ooh, exciting. But that could become problematic because these drones could be weaponized, and they are, and it's scary, and it doesn't make anybody hard. You know what does make people hard? Beautiful technology that gets built out of competition. Nothing brings forth a little bit of innovation like a little bit of competition. Leonidas is a weapon that we've just created. It's beautiful. I love this shit. It's a high power microwave system. It's called Leonidas, a beautiful microwave system. It's high powered. What it does, it takes down drones instantly by just aiming at a swarm of drones, and it could be multiple drones, it could be thousands of drones, and it's just one machine, and just disables them mid-air. So if you were worried about, drones of either recreational or, you know, of the military kind, worry no more, because we could aim Leonidas at it's a high power microwave, which I don't know the science behind it, to be honest with you, but let's just dissect it together. High power. It's smoking blunts, left, right, and center. High power. Maybe Snoop Dogg got involved, and I don't know. He is involved with a lot of business. Maybe the microwaves are also smoking a lot of weed, like Snoop Dogg. I don't know. He's very creative. He's been around for a long time, and it's beautiful. So maybe he's involved. Or Willie Nelson, again, I don't know. High powered. It's token. Microwaves. Items you'd find in every household, which assist you in warming up food. So maybe we opened the door, we ripped off the door, stuffed the microwave with a ton of ganja, and turned it on, and then aimed it at the sky where the drones were. And the next thing you know, a combination of highness, waviness, microwaves come together and take down the drones simultaneously, and that's done. It's over. So if you're worried about thousands of drones swarming any place on Earth, if you've got this Leonidas weapon, it's night night. They're gone. Flat out on the ground, which is beautiful. I love that. I am a little concerned because I'm like, if it works on drones, does it work on any other vehicle? Does it work on trains? The train won't fall, of course, but could it halt a train? Like a new train, not like an old school train, but like a new train. Could it do that? Like a high powered... Could it disable a car? Not an old car, not a muscle car from the 60s or 70s or even 80s. What about a new car though? Can he aim the high power energy microwave to the car, an electronic car let's say, and disable it from afar? Or millions of cars? Or thousands of cars? What about the people that are getting the brain chips in their brain to assist them play Pong? Could you potentially, not that you'd want to, I'm just wondering, asking for a friend, could you disable a person using high power microwaves? What about regular airplanes? Does it work on regular airplanes? Because like if we could take down their drones, planes are just drones with a pilot. Could we take those? Warms my heart to know if we could, that's good. We have it. If we need it, we've got it. Enemy planes, should they ever dare take them out, just fucking plummet right in the middle of the ocean. What if we have an accident? What if a passenger plane gets fucking taken down by accident? I have always said either equip all the individuals on airplanes with parachutes or just make a giant parachute for the plane so that should it go down, it just fucking nice and easy. nice and easy. But I'm for it. I like this. I like technology. I like highness. I like power. I like microwaves. Speaking of planes, ladies and gentlemen, 2 Delta planes crashed at LaGuardia Airport. That's right. On the landing strip. It wasn't, nobody died, thank God. Thank God! Nobody died. But they did crash. And I just want to say that I want more pilots like this. More brave pilots like these guys. Because it's easy to just get in a game of chicken and be like, I want to come head first at you. And then the other person who's playing chicken with you is, oh, I'm coming head first at you. You better get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, move. You might say that. And whoever, doesn't get out the way wins. So when I see 2 brave pilots stepping up and saying we're gonna play chicken, and neither of them stepped out of the way, warms my heart. Makes me believe again. Makes me have hope. A man can dream. How many times have we been in airplanes where the pilots will not even engage in a game of chicken? When was the last time you saw pilots engaging in a game of chicken? Can't even remember. Can't even remember. Most of the pilots are either snoozing, boozing, or getting sloppy toppy in the cockpit. These guys putting it down, saying, you know what? Get out my way. It's my turn to take off and spread these wings. And they were both committed. And it was beautiful to see that. Most other pilots are cowards. They won't even engage in a game of chicken. They'll come up with excuses. Oh, the plane is too big. There's not enough space on this landing strip. There are people on this plane. There are passengers on the plane. I'm going to lose my job. And at the end of this, it's like, listen, buddy, you want to have a little game of chicken, enhance everybody's experience, or just play it safe. Play it, just always by the rules. Safety first. What about excitement? What about a little bit of action? What about showing individuals that when you put your foot down, you actually stand on that shit? What kind of message does that send out? When somebody plays chicken with you and you happen to go steer the other way, what kind of message does that send out to the younger generations? That we step out of the way every time anybody decides to play chicken with us? God, not these guys. Not these guys. Salute to these brave men and women who were in the cockpit. I'm not sure if they were men's or women's. Probably dudes, or maybe ladies, I'm not quite sure. When most captains eject from the cockpit, these guys stood their ground and they said, bring it on. And that's what I want to see. That's what we want to see more of. Shout out to LaGuardia. Shout out to the airplanes. Shout out to the pilots, and shout out to all the passengers. What an exciting event. And you'll live long lives. Soon you'll be sitting down by your grandchildren in the future. Like, you don't have them right now, but in the future. Your incubator grandchildren, those ones. And you'll reminisce about the days where human pilots used to play chicken before the machines fully took over. Your kids will have no recollection or emotion. They're mostly robots. They get off this shit. They truly get off this shit. Scaring the elderly. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but there was an elderly lady walking by, holding her ears, getting terrorized by this mysterious giant vehicle that's painted red that wants to control heat, is what I'm getting from them. Ironically, we live in a very cold country where half the year it's quite cold. These guys are all about fire. It's like, get out of here if you don't like it. You know what I mean? It's we'll deal with them next time. What was I even talking about? I don't remember. That's right, planes. Well, that's all I have to say about that. So shout out to the pilots, holding it down, making it interesting to take a flight once again. What else is going on? I believe Jane Goodall passed away. If you don't know who Jane Goodall is, I don't either, to be honest with you. Not that, but like I'm aware of her. I'm a little familiar with her work. She was a conversationalist. That's right. Rest in peace. Beautiful woman in her 90s, I think. Rest in peace, Jane Goodall, a conversationalist who spent a lot of time with chimpanzees. Now, being a conversationalist and attempting to speak with chimpanzees is a very difficult task. So let us take this time to remember that it's okay to pick a difficult task. It's not easy conversing with chimpanzees. But here was a sweet lady who did it for a long time, for 1,000 years. And through her conversations with chimpanzees, she kept the chimpanzees at bay. She was on the front lines, holding them back. There's the chimps, there's Jane Goodall, and then there's the rest of society, safe. Every day, Jane would spend hours, long hours, talking to the chimps, distracting them, not allowing them to come over and attack the human species. There's only one woman who did this. And now that she's gone, I'm terribly concerned. Because again, you had the chimps, Jane Goodall, the conversationalist, and society. Remove Jane Goodall, and now it's just chimpanzees as humans, and things might get a little bit wild in the next few weeks. I don't want to alarm you. I don't want to tell you should be concerned. From sources, questionable sources tell me that within the next 2 weeks, chimpanzees will be attempting to take over planet Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, and do not panic. We have 2 to 3 weeks. Stay strong. All right, fine. My questionable sources tell me that it's 24 to 36 hours. Do not panic. 24 to 36. Do not panic. Remain calm. Jane Goodall, the conversationalist, would have wanted us to stay strong. Good God. What will these chimps do next? Swinging from tree to tree, making their way over to civilization. Flicking feces in masses. Covering everybody in dirt. Scratching people's eyes out. Stealing your babies. Why, Jane Goodall? Why? Why did you leave so soon? Remain calm. Remain collected for the young ones. Do not let them see fear in your eyes. Will we contract a lot of AIDS from the chimpanzees engaging in sexual activities with the human species? Before we didn't have to worry about this. There was no bestiality, but now there's chimps gangbanging, mounting on top of each and every one of us, and this is coming from questionable sources who tell me it's going to happen within the next 12 hours. Prepare yourselves, but also live your lives. Live your lives. Live your lives. I'd say stop grooming. If they take over, stop grooming. Let all your bodily hairs, just let it go. And get out there and make monkey noises and try to blend in as long as possible. It's just like zombie apocalypse movies. Blend in as much as you can. When you see them coming, just get on all fours and, you know, maybe you flick a couple of pieces of feces at people and it's survival of the fittest is what it is. It's one woman holding them back. I don't know who's gonna fill her shoes. Questionable sources say she wasn't even wearing shoes towards the end. She was walking barefoot. Barefoot. Amongst the chimps. Engaging in conversation each and every day, calming them down. No, chimps, you stay in the jungle. The humans will roam the streets. And now what? Who will protect the human species? I believe Netflix has just got a little bit of. I heard about this recently. Some people were saying you gotta cancel your Netflix. Don't subscribe to Netflix. People said that. Some people said that. And Elon Musk, I believe, said it too. I didn't know why. I quickly looked into it and found out that it's apparently due to Netflix creating an animation show for children that's depicting a protagonist who is trans, a teenage tranny protagonist. And people were like, oh, cancel it. I'm just an objective observer. I feel nothing. Dead inside. How will this work out? Objectively speaking, if your kid watched the video and turned trans, you might cancel your subscription to Netflix. You might be like, I don't want to watch Netflix anymore because my kid turned trans because of a animation that they saw on Netflix, and my kid's trans now. Thanks, Netflix. You might do that. Others might just, if you're like me, you won't cancel it. You won't because, again, dead inside, mostly just trying to, to remain objective, that is, to remain objective. You got to, a level of deadness needs to settle in so you can just object, because no fun in picking sides. You got to remain objective. That's what I tell myself anyway. So some people might cancel because their kids are trannies, because they watched a video. Of course, it could have been from a lack of time spent with the child that's now tranny, but who knows? It could have been one video. Could have also been one video. So cancel it. Some people might cancel. Others, most people will just let it go. Most people just let it go. It's just, I'll speak for myself, because like there's shows on Netflix that I love. just watched a couple of shows that I enjoyed thoroughly, and I'm looking forward to even more shows. And I don't have too many subscriptions and too many platforms. Gotta stay fiscally responsible, that is, in these times. It's not too many. So Netflix, I've been with you for some time now. And it's, so I'm not looking to spend more money on anything else at the moment. So I'm just gonna keep mine for a time. Because I watched a good couple, Black Rabbit. Watched that one with Jude's Law. Starring Jude's Law. And Jason Bateman. And Jude's Law. Black Rabbit. Highly recommended. It was beautiful. Now, spoiler alert, if you're like me and you initially engaged in watching the program because you're waiting to see a show about black rabbits, you will be disappointed. There was no black rabbits in Black Rabbit. There's not even one. Not even one. Not even one single black rabbit. And you're like, what do you say? And it was a show. No, there was no rabbits at all. It's not even about no white rabbits, no black rabbits. There's no rabbits whatsoever. So a little bit disappointed there. And I watched through the entire thing. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. Got the old heart rate going. Fucking, But again, if you're tuning in to watch a show about rabbits, and it's not about that. But I enjoyed it. So for that and other shows too, I got into House of Guinness. That's, I believe, the producers of Peaky Blinders built the show, made the show. Came out, if I'm not mistaken. I enjoyed it because it's things that I'm interested in. Guinness, it's one of my favorite beers. I've not had a drink in a really long time. Not for any particular reason or anything. It's just don't have time for it. But Guinness is one of my favorite beers. If I were sitting down, want to get a beer, let's get a Guinness. Let's get it. There's Guinness and then there's other beers. All right? And I'm sure there's plenty of other beers and all sorts of names. I'm not, but personally speaking, I enjoy a Guinness. Other things I like, the Irish. I love the Irish. Love a lot of people out there. Doesn't matter if I love everybody out there, but I like the Irish. There's beautiful people, beautiful nation. There's I like the, what don't you like about the Irish? Underdogs. But then overcame the underdogness and then became like overdogs. Or just regular dogs. They're white, but they weren't always white. And you're like, how does that happen? And then you read a little bit into things, and you're like, man. So there is hope. And, it's... I enjoyed it, that's what I'm trying to say. I do want to mention this, which got me a little bit... If you're on your first couple of episodes and you're watching, you're like, man, where is this House of Guinness story go? It goes plenty of places, and I love the ending, by the way, because fucking leave your boy hanging there. No spoiler alert. Left your boy hanging. You know what else was hanging in one of the episodes? Which I have a personal question here. I saw Dong on television, on Netflix. Cack on Netflix. The character came out of the bath on Netflix swinging cock. And it was a good cock. And I'm not here again objectively looking at things. But it made me feel a little bit like, man, does mine hang like this guy's? And that's where I was like, dude, is that a natural hang? Or is it like, you know what I'm talking about? When you shoot for, when you're doing TV cock, is it the same as regular cock? Like, was that his regular? Is that like how it is for this? You're blessed, good for you. But it's fantastic. Or is it like, does prep go before revealing cock on television? Because I've heard of it. I don't know. As an outsider, I don't know. And you as a viewer, you're watching, you're like, you're knee deep in this shit. Thank you. I'm not though. I'm not. not. So, questions of my own. Because I've heard you sometimes might do a couple of push-ups before you go and do the shoot. Do you do a couple of strokes before you reveal it, or is that just like Natty just fucking hanging? Because then the next day came, I just got in the shower and then I hopped down. I was just like paying attention to mine for a second. I'm like, does mine swing that way when I walk out? And it, not initially. Like I had to like pull it for a second, just pulled it, and then I walked back again. And I'm like, yeah, it swings. Just everybody's different. I just have questions about cock on television. I guess, like, is there prep work for it, or is it just like show up and you go, you drop your pants and that's the way it is? He was in a warm bath, so maybe that had something to do with it. Questions. Some people are just everybody's gifted in different ways. Talented and a huge cock. But is that, again, leave a comment if you're an insider. So for these reasons, because Netflix has provided me with so much entertainment, I'm not going to cancel mine. And again, objectively speaking, other people might hear this and say, you know what, out of spite, because people work sometimes out of spite. People operate sometimes in the world out of spite. You heard the whole Tylenol thing. The message might be good. You in particular might not like the messenger. All right, for whatever reason. And you're like, oh, out of spite, I'm going to just take a bath in Tylenol. My kid with Tylenol and just fucking, watch my, I'm going to give so much tism to my kid. You'll be, oh, look at this tizzy go right there. You'll do that out of spite. Some people might do that. So if you're, you might like the message. You're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have, some topics that are a little bit too much for perhaps children on. No, that's your decision. That's your decision. If you want to, out of spite to operate, I would say genitally mutilate your child out of spite to really prove a point. Because you might not like Elon Musk. You might even agree with the message, but even if you do, sometimes people operate out of spite. So rip your child's entire penis off. There you go. Rip it off. If she comes with a vag, if it's a baby vag, she's got a little tiny baby vag, get her an operation. Put her on hormone blockers. Make sure she does not get through puberty and start menstruating. The earlier you get in there, the easier it is to really fuck up the entire biology. So you're like, oh, you don't tell me what to do, Elon Musk. Do it out of spite. It's all about commitment. People operate like that all the time. There's a guy in Florida, Craig Voigt, owner of a few peacocks. His neighbor kept feeding his peacocks. He went up to the neighbor and said, quit feeding my peacocks. The neighbor continued to feed the peacocks. Eventually, out of spite, he killed the peacocks, cooked the peacocks, ate the peacocks. Now it's become a whole thing as to like, why did you eat the peacocks? They're his peacocks. Should you eat a peacock? Are we going to say we're only going to eat, non-attractive animals? We're only going to eat the uggos. If we're going to eat anything, it's going to be an uggo animal. If it's a pretty animal, we're not going to eat it. That's the way. And who's to say? Because we do say, and the animals that we do eat, they're cute, but some of them are not. They're not. Peacock, you're like, that's too pretty of an animal to eat. Don't eat that one. But what if peacocks were delicious? What if they're super delicious and they happen to be beautiful? And it's his peacocks. It's his peacocks. They will eventually one day die. Now he went ahead and killed them prematurely and cooked them and ate them. But again, he was operating out of spite. This isn't even about right or wrong. This isn't about the lady getting kicked. This isn't about you deciding whether or not it's safe to play chicken in an airplane. It's about objectively looking at going dead inside, so to find the meaning. And I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's one of the pillars of this podcast. One of the main pillars of my life. So the moral of that story is most people will just live their lives. Others will cancel, and others, out of spite, which might be you, I'm not saying it is, but it might be you, cut that penis, baby penis off, all right? Go for the full circumcision. Get your money's worth when you're about to give your child the circumcision. Just chop it all off. How do you even know how much to take off? You know what I mean? Heard a beautiful story which got me concerned and thinking, ladies and gents. It's about a 2-year-old goddess in Nepal. They just dubbed a new child, a female child, 2 years old, in Nepal as a goddess. Comes with a lot of responsibilities. How do you dub somebody a goddess? Well, in this particular case, the mother of the baby, who eventually became a goddess at the age of 2, had a dream before her birth that her child will become a goddess. So step 1, have a dream about your kid becoming a goddess. You're like, is that it? No. Next. Again, I'm not quite sure of the entire details of the situation and the formalities and every little step, but the gist of it, have a dream. Start with that. Enter your kid in a contest to become a goddess. Have your kid win the contest. Now your kid is the goddess. 2 years old. Learning about things. It's beautiful. Learning about different cultures, different people, how they operate. So in Nepal, they have this. And you select the goddess at around age 2, and they go on to become a goddess. As far as I'm concerned, up until their early teens. And then they retire. So for a portion of their life, they live in a, sequestered life or an isolated life. They get treated as a goddess. They're shut out of regular day-to-day activities and societal norms and routines. They're treated differently. Their families get a little bit of privilege, extra cheddar, a little bit of power, a little bit of status. My kid's a goddess. You come see the baby, you line up. Not everybody sees the baby. You don't get to see the baby all the time. It's not a regular baby, it's a goddess baby. All right? I don't know the requirements that go into it, but she is a goddess baby. That's what happens. Have a dream first. Put your name in the hat. And the rest will happen naturally. Time to time, individuals, strangers will show up with gifts like money, maybe food, clothes, I don't know, goodies to see the goddess child. And then they'll touch the child's feet with their foreheads as a way of showing respect. So you got strangers touching your baby with their forehead. And this goes on for a good 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know how long. After they retire, they get an equivalent of $110 a month to retire for the rest of their life. Now, this was interesting to me again because so many people out there, 8 billion of us, different cultures, different people doing different things, and it just maybe I'm like, man, would I want my kid to be a goddess or a god? How does that even work? You gotta ask for more in terms of the retirement. You gotta ask for more. $110 is not, because again, this is Nepalese money. Doesn't, you might still live a good life in Nepal, but I'm just saying, if $110 because let's say your kid is a goddess till 13, maybe 14, 12, whatever the age is. They get treated differently. They don't go to school. They don't get access to regular things that kids get access to. So they're socially stunted. You might even say they're a little bit socially retarded. And retarded in many other ways as well. They have no idea what it is to live a regular life. They've been treated as a goddess. Special treatment. And now they get sent out into society with $110 at the age of, I don't know, early teens. And now fend for yourself, regular, former goddess, regular girl now. Soon to be a woman in the next few years. And you get $110. On top of all this, traditionally through history, apparently when they end up getting married later in life, their husbands die young. Fun fact, their husbands die early. I don't know why, it just happened. Because you're dealing with a retarded woman. Could have been a man if it was a prince or a god or whatever, you know, whatever. This is a princess, or a goddess rather. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, oh, she's a former goddess. Check this out. She's drooling while waiting in line because it just doesn't, you know. She's climbing trees. She's getting her period and not doing a damn thing about it because she's had maybe servants assisting her with changing her pad. Now she's free bleeding in the middle of Starbucks. You take your life. You got, you know, how many more free bleeds can you take? And you having to stand there and be like, no, you don't understand. She's not disgusting. She's a human being. Used to be a former goddess. I know, it's disgusting now. But former goddess. So you're like, yeah, sure, buddy, former goddess. So I'm just saying, 110, you gotta go up. You gotta go way up. If it was me anyway, if it was me having to like be like, yeah, here's my daughter or my son about to be treated, you know, you gotta go up in the millions. You gotta get, that's different parts of, you know, you got child celebrities or actors or actresses in, you know, in our society. So it's a different form of, I guess, you know, idol or worship of the you know, other humans, is, which is whatever. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Whatever. The point is that it just made me think, you gotta ask for more. Finally marry her off as her dad and the husbands keep dying. The news spreads that whenever she marries, the husband dies. How you gonna? She's gonna be living with you till she's like 57. You got a 57-year-old retarded woman living with you, and you're about to die, and she's getting $100 per month. You know how much you're gonna worry. You're gonna worry yourself to death as a parent. But again, different cultures, different people do it all the time. You know, differently. So again, who worships her? I believe it's the Hindus and the Buddhists. Yeah. So there you have it. What else is going on? This one got me excited, not because it's particularly a good news, or like it's not, again, objectively, like you got to go a little bit numb, just objective. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Quite clear what it is, but it is a first. It is a first. It caught my attention. Caribbean Islands just got its first serial killer. Coochie Fortune is this man's name. Coochie Fortune. First Caribbean serial killer. They've never had this. And I think about this, I'm like, why didn't they have it? And it just hit me because it's beautiful in the Caribbean. Why would you? It makes sense. Colder temperatures probably promote more serial killer activity. You can't be American and just be out there serial killing people out there. It just doesn't. Every teen I read, why would you go and kill somebody out there? You might go and kill somebody out there once, but why would you go kill another man and another man and another woman after that? When the weather's nice all the time, why would you go out there and be killing them people? So it is a first. He got women in St. Kitts, then he went over to he got some women in St. Martin's, and then went over to St. Kitts, killed a bunch of bitches. Again, killing, obviously, I don't have to tell you that, obviously, that's the bad of it all. That's the good, but objectively, I didn't even think about this. I'm like, yeah, I would have always supposed that there's, serial killers or everywhere, but apparently not in the Caribbean. First ever. So not the best thing to get noticed for, but again, it does bring some, it does put, don't undermine the person now. And if you're like, I'll go to the Caribbean, I'll never get murdered by a serial killer, because they don't have any. They do now. They do. But he's probably gonna do time. He's pleading not guilty, saying I don't know the details. I don't know the details. I just read about it. I don't know the details. It's easy to judge a man. Sure, you see a little bit of blood. You see the weapon that was used. You see my fingerprints. And it's easy to jump to conclusions. All of a sudden you're painting. Oh, look at this man. He's a big old serial killer. Yeah, big old serial killer. That was a huge, huge fly. Or a bee, rather. Easy to jump to conclusions when you see the weapon and you see my fingerprints. Sure, I've got a shirt that's blood stained with the blood of the victims, and you might do a DNA testing, and you might easily run a forensics department testing, and you might tell a person that they're a serial killer. But I ask you, what even is a serial killer? You and your labels jump into conclusions just because you found my clothes at the scene of the crime. Why don't we all just go to the beach and enjoy the weather? You know, and it's easy to jump to conclusions. Easy, super easy to jump to conclusions. But again, first one in Caribbean history. Sure, I killed those women, but really you had to be in there. If you heard what they said, you might have done the same thing. Sure, it's easy to jump to conclusions while you have everything on tape and you look at me and say the tape is there. All I'm saying is I wouldn't jump the gun if it were you in my shoes. Everything was airy until they started talking, and I'm like, I just can't take it anymore. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The moral of today's episode is that it doesn't have a particular moral to today's episode. It just is. So enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back here again next week. Until next time, peace out. Get out of here. You get out of here.